Never smoke in the toilet. Otherwise, the consequences will be serious. Neeson just got out of a cigarette. I got a threatening text. He was told to wire $150 million to a designated account, or you kill a passenger every 20 minutes. Neeson thought it was a prank by a colleague. Why would he make such a joke? A WI innocent face immediately took out a mobile phone to show innocence. Confirm it wasn't a coworker. Neeson realized they really had a hijacking. To prevent a tragedy, Neeson immediately found the captain. Have him thoroughly investigate the account information provided by the robbers. Neeson, meanwhile, had a good idea. He faked a text to negotiate with the robbers, then let the stewardess May and the neighbor seat Lucy kept a close eye on the monitor. During this period, whoever's on the phone could be the robber. Soon the three men had rounded up the suspect. But just then, Neeson received a piece of news that shocked him. He asked if your daughter was okay. Neeson was surprised. Daughter's tragic death, only colleagues at WI know. Look at a WI on the screen. At this time he just put away the phone. He went to the toilet in a panic. Neeson angrily rushed to the toilet to find out. But I didn't wait for him to talk. Our WI took the initiative to admit and promised him half when it was done. Neeson wouldn't let them fight. Fierce hand-to-hand combat. Our WI gradually fell into the disadvantage. He touched a pistol in the nick of time. But I didn't have time to pull the trigger. Neeson broke his neck, so as not to cause a panic. Neeson hid WI in the toilet for a while. We thought the crisis was over. Then there was another text from the robber. Then Neeson realized he had been played. He became an accomplice to the robbers. The only way to break in is the account information. Neeson hurried to find the captain. Instead, the captain told him to hand over his weapons and papers, because after investigation, the account the robbers provided was Neeson's own. They suspected Neeson of staging a plot. And now 20 minutes have passed. There was no accident on the plane. Neeson had a hard time talking. I had no choice but to surrender the gun. The more you think about it, the worse it looks. Since WI is not the robber, then why did he admit to the hijacking? Neeson opened our WI's suitcase, found the answer in it. Turns out he's been using plants all these years, smuggle flour for people. And this became the robber threatened our WI with something. Neeson was surprised to learn the truth. While now, robber Lee's next kill is in 13 minutes. Neeson has to find the robbers quickly. He told everyone to put their hands on their seats, then take a list of suspects and run it through. In no time, an angry black man caught his eye. He asked him to hand over his phone for inspection, but the other side not only did not return full of fragrance, Neeson holds it with a single grab. Turns out the guy was just a landscape enthusiast. It's full of unsightly pictures. Then Neeson locked onto a little white guy with glasses. Neeson remembers this guy. He said hello to himself before he got on the plane. Said he was going to Paris, but this is a flight to London. Wait for an explanation. Neeson forced him into the toilet. Tell him why he lied. Little white can't help but tell the truth. Turns out he was paid $100 to do it. Neeson immediately forced him into the cabin for identification. Turns out there is no such thing. Watch the next 20 minutes come to an end. Neeson had to restrain him first to make sure. Then he drew his pistol and watched every move in the cabin. But just then the robber sent a short message. They say they're not necessarily targeting passengers. Neeson suddenly realized and ran to the cockpit. But when he got there, he was too late. The captain was foaming at the mouth and his life depended on it. It was the second 20 minutes. Neeson couldn't understand. Such a closed cockpit. How did the killer do it? Just when Neeson had no clue, his friend Lucy introduced him to a hacker, and then he was on Neeson's phone. Implant a picture with a virus. As soon as the robbers get the message, the phone will force a sound. It'll give us the location of the robbers. Neeson took the phone and looked. Sure enough, I just posted the picture myself. Then roughly will the old white into the bathroom. An angry went of anger. However, just then old white suddenly had difficulty breathing. Then he collapsed, foaming at the mouth like the captain. Third person to die in 20 minutes. Neeson was dumbfounded at the scene. Devastated, he went to the toilet to smoke. Suddenly he realized the smoke was sucked into the cardboard box on the wall. Neeson opened the box curiously. Inside is a small hole that leads to the cockpit. Look down. There were also discarded crime tools in the trash. Neeson suddenly realized, does he finally know how the captain died? The killer used a blow quiver to shoot a poison needle through the hole. Assassinated the captain. But how did the needle on the old white start? Neeson tried to get answers from the robber's phone. But they just turned on their phones. Some mysterious code pops up on the screen. In quick succession, a 30-minute countdown appeared. Realized there might be a bomb on board. The two hurried out to search separately. Neeson eventually found him in a colleague's suitcase. So as not to cause a panic, Neeson decided to withhold information about the bomb for now. Only to enter the cabin was attacked by surprise. A crowd of people jumped on him and pinned him down. Neeson rascal, just the fact that there was a bomb on the plane. After what Neeson had to say, the crowd soon calmed down. Westbrook came forward and asked the eagle to find the robber. Neeson said there was no time. We need to get the bomb to the tail right now. Make a blast wall out of suitcases. Minimize the damage caused by the explosion. If you want to break down successfully, the plane must descend to 8,000 feet. But the co-pilot said no, because now there are two fighter jets flanking the plane. Everything he does has to be approved. Then Neeson understood. Turns out my superiors never trusted me. And it all began with a brave man, a passenger on a plane. They posted a video of Neeson's violence online. Let the underground think he was the robber. Furious, Neeson rushed into the cabin, grab a phone and check it out. But when he reviewed the footage, he found something new. In video, Exio Bai gave old Bai a stab when he passed by. Neeson looks at White in the video. The other person finds himself exposed. He got up and grabbed the gun from Westbrook. Neeson moves closer to White and pulls the trigger. Turns out there is no bullets in the gun. Westbrook knocks him to the floor with an elbow. Neeson told Westbrook to get the bullets, but the bullet was in Black's hand. Then it's loaded and it's one shot at Westbrook. Turns out he was White's accomplice. At the same time, White caught him off guard and grabbed Neeson's gun. And then pointed the gun at Neeson. Seeing that the situation had stabilized, White told the truth about the hijacking. He was a soldier, only to have his family killed by terrorists. So he was very disappointed with the security of the country. So he's gonna go to extreme lengths to uncover this. It's a fact that Blackie just quit. The money for the hijacking is now at stake. Watching the countdown to the explosion, Black has the intention to surrender, only to be shot by the other side. When White was about to go after Neeson, suddenly the plane made an emergency descent. Thousands of people were all blown away. In the confusion, Neeson picked up the dropped pistol. One shot killed White. Meanwhile, the bomb is on its final countdown. Watching the plane go down out of control. Fortunately, the driver's calm control and driving sense. Finally, with excellent technology and director's arrangement, the aircraft won the award.